everyone, welcome back to the channel. I thought instead of making some big experiments, let's make some junk drawer experiments. And for that, you're going to need some simple materials which are very easy to find. You ready to make some? Let's get started. For the first experiment, we're going to make a hole in our hand. But don't worry, it's not hurtful or anything. For that, you're going to need a tube. Any tube will work. First, you're going to close your left eye. Next, you're going to take the tube and place it on top of your right eye. Focus on the end of the tube, on the hole. Next, take your left hand and place it on the side of the tube at the very end. Now you can open your left eye. What do you see? It's like there's a hole in your hand. That's so creepy cool. You just made a hole in your hand without hurting yourself, I've got to say. Congratulations. Now, how does experiment 1 work? When the light enters our eyes, the nerve receptors at the end of our eyes signal the brain, and the brain tells us what we're seeing. But both eyes see different images, and the brain is smart enough to put them together so we see one image and not a doubled image. To prove that both eyes are seeing different images, focus on something with your eyes. Now, take one of your hands and place them over one of your eyes. Now take your other hand and cover whatever you were focusing on. Now take your other hand and put it on your other eye. And now you can see that whatever you were covering is not covered anymore. That proves that both eyes are seeing different images. Now what's going on here? Our right eye sees the hole inside of the tube, and our left eye sees our hand. And our brain, it's going to try to put the two images together. And that one image is the hole inside of our hand. And right now, I'm seeing my mom inside of my palm. That's not cool. For the second experiment, we're going to make our own musical instrument. We're going to make a DIY oboe. And for that, we're not going to need a paper tube, but we're going to need one straw. And if you're kind enough, you can make some oboes for your friends. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. Let's get started. For the first step, you're going to need your scissors, your fingers, and your straw. Take your straw and flatten out the top with your fingers. Like this. Next, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut a V shape in the top. Like this. Now you're going to take the plastic out. And it should look like this. And now we're going to cut the sides right here and here. And this is what you have in the end. It kind of looks like a tongue of a snake. Now we're going to flatten it out more, way more. You can use your fingers, or you can even use your front teeth. You just want to flatten it out. And then, when it's flattened out most, you can blow into it real hard, and you will get a small noise. Or it can even be loud and high-pitched, but you never know. All right, let's see if it works. We may need to flatten out more, so don't be disappointed if you don't get a sound when you first blow into it. Oh, there it is. I think it needs more flattening out. Or it may be the problem that your top isn't more triangular. I think that may be the problem. So I'm just going to cut it just a little bit more. And then I'm going to flatten it more. Problem and solution. Let's try it now. There we go. There's the sound. You made your own oboe. How does such a mini oboe make such a great sound? Well, in comparison to a real instrument, they both have a reed. And the reed, it's smushed, just like ours. And when we blow into it, the vibration makes the sound. Now, I've made many of these, and they all have a different pitch. I wonder why. I think it's because of the cut. Now, you can make as many as you want, and you can send them to your friends, and then you can have a mini concert with mini oboes. How fun. For junk drawer experiment number 3, you're going to need a big coin. I'm using a quarter. So what you're going to do, you're going to hold your elbow out like this, and you're going to take the coin and put it on your elbow. Now we're going to do that and catch it. It seems very easy, but in reality, it's hard. It can take you a few tries before you get your first catch. It took me 100 tries before I got my first catch. Let's see how many tries you take. Now, how do we catch the coin? This is all possible because of inertia. But to understand inertia, we need to know Newton's first law of motion. Newton's first law of motion states that if a body is at rest or moving at constant speed in a straight line, it will remain at rest or keep moving in a straight line at constant speed unless another force acts upon it. Now, when the coin is on my elbow, it is at resting position and it doesn't want to move from there. Now, when I move my arm away, inertia keeps it in the air, but there is another force acting upon it, which is gravity. Now, before gravity can pull the coin down, inertia keeps it in the air for a tiny fraction of a second, which gives me the time to move my hand under and catch the coin. Let's do another experiment on inertia. Now, for this, you're going to need a paper and some scissors. You're going to cut 2 lines, here and here, so you can make your strip of paper into thirds. Now, what you're going to do, you're going to ask your friend to rip the paper so they have 3 papers in total after they rip. You want to take this side off and this side off. But let me tell you, it's not possible. See? But there is a way to do it. And for that, we're going to use physics, or inertia. Let me show you how. Now, to make this work, you're going to need another strip of paper, some tape, a pair of scissors, and some rocks. But instead of rocks, you can either use some coins or something the same weight as the rocks and the same size. Now what we're going to do the same step as the normal rip, and we're going to make 3/3 on the paper. Just like this. Now what we're going to do, we're going to take the rocks and tape them onto the middle square. Okay, now we're going to hold the paper up the same way we did with the one with no rocks. Now we're going to pull. There we go. Now we have 3 pieces of paper. The first time we tried to rip the paper, only one part came off and the other 2 didn't. But the time we put on the rocks, it did. Why? Because of inertia. Now when we added the rocks, we added weight, adding the inertia. And it made the paper say, I want to stay here. So when we pulled the other 2 sides, it still wanted to stay there, making them separate. You can try this experiment at home with your friends and make them go, I love inertia. Believe me, it takes so many tries. I hope you enjoyed today's Junk Drawer Experiments video. Share this with your friends. Have fun. Stay tuned for more. See you next time. Goodbye.